Today I'm going to be making SPUN KAKA, which I am told is a Swedish breakfast dish from my Swedish immigrant way back when. If it's not actually a Swedish breakfast dish, I have no idea. It could very well be. But anyways, first thing we do is we set the oven to 400 degrees, and then you need 1 to 2 tablespoons of fat. Butter is the normal, but we have lard that we got when we got our pig, and so that is what I tend to use. The standard recipe, the way I learned to make it when I was a kid, is it's half a cup of milk, half a cup of flour, 2 eggs, and a teaspoon of salt. Then you cook it in the oven in a pie pan. And we didn't have it all that often, and then once we got here and had more kids and needed more than that, rather than make like 4 pie pans worth, we just started combining them. So what I'm going to make is going to be 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of milk. I put 4 tablespoons of fat in the pan, and 10 eggs, and then just a handful of salt. So, you can take that original recipe and make them individually or together, or add as many as you want. I've made it with up to 5 recipes together before. I assume if you went any bigger than that, you might need to go bigger than the 3-quart Pyrex pan that we are currently using. I put the fat in the pan first, and then it goes in the oven to start melting while you make the batter. Okay, batter starts with, I always put the milk in first. I said 10 eggs earlier, it's only 8 eggs for 4 recipes worth. I had been thinking 10 eggs because for a while I was having to make 5 recipes worth for our family, and then we all started eating a little less, and thus we don't need that. That's about how much salt I put in. Very scientifically proven to be an estimate. And then when it stirs it up, you're stirring the flour and the eggs and the milk all together and the salt. And it might get a little lumpy, and that is okay in the recipe. You want it to stir as minimally as possible to make it look like it's stirred together. So you don't have to sit there and get each little clump out, as long as it looks like most of the flour is stirred in and the yolks of the eggs seem to be broken. Really need the yolks to be broken because they'll cook just fine into it, but then your kids will argue over who gets the little piece with the yolk in it. Not that our kids have ever done that every time. Okay, so that's about what it looks like. Little lumpy in there, not a big deal. Okay. Okay, so I pulled the pan out of the oven with the fat. It should be moving around the bottom. If you use butter, you probably don't want to just put it in as 4 or 5 tablespoons. You want to kind of cut it up. So it'll melt a lot faster. It'll take quite a while if you put it in. Also, we have used olive oil, though mistakenly. I'm sure you could use vegetable oil. It's not super picky. It just needs to be something that will keep it all from sticking to the pan. When you've got the 4 tablespoons in there, it kind of pools up, and that's fine. I usually like to try and pour the batter into wherever it's pooled up so that it pushes that pool of fat around. Here's my oven saying it's hot enough. Nice thing about the melting the butter in the or fat in the oven is that it gives the oven something to do while it's preheating. So you're not just wasting all that energy like we normally do. I have found that, well, the standard recipe says cook it for 8 to 10 minutes. I have found that you need to multiply by however many recipes you have. So being that I did 4 recipes, I always stick it in for about 40 minutes. And that seems to cook it about right. I could get away with 45 when we did the 5 recipes, but if you're only doing 1 or 2, you probably only want to go that 15 or 20 minutes. If it's 1 recipe, you only want to go that 8 or 10 minutes. And now it is ready to go in the oven. That's what it looks like before it goes in. I'm back just as the timer is going off. It's like I planned it that way or something. As you can see, it poofed up a bit. That's part of the fun with not mixing it up too much. If you make it all smooth, it won't do that. You can see the crust kind of puffed up around the edge. A little more right there. So now it will be time to cut it up and serve it. Okay, when I serve mine, I like to cut it up kind of the same way you would a lasagna or something similar. We aim for 12 pieces. So on the long way, I cut it into 4ths. And then on the short way, I cut it into 3rds. And if you've done a single recipe in a pie pan, it is usually thin enough that you can just serve it. But again, the quadruple recipe in this, in the 3-quart pan, means that it is cooked a little thicker. And so the way we like to do it is we then cut it in half. And then give it a semi-liberal coating of sugar. And then it is ready to eat. We usually do 2 pieces for each kid and 3 pieces for each adult.